tonight we're going to be looking at projects that did well on Mint, minted recently, and where they are now, and why we are either bullish or bearish about them. I'm Philip Kalinko, your host. Next to me is Morland Mount, your other host, and together we bring you the NFT show. Morland, we synced our watches, my friend.
Yes, we figured it out. We got the
We figured
whole
it out.
daylight savings and all that figured out. We're good to
Good
go for
man.
now.
Good to be back together again. I've missed you.
Yeah, it's been a bit. You've been well?
Yeah, all good. And you?
I've been well as well.
Good man.
Excited
All
for
right, so
today's show.
me too. I enjoy these. So Data Souls, we brought it to you before, and I'm gonna do that side. Alrighty, we brought it to you before, Data Souls, and I'm bringing it to you again because honestly, not financial advice. I think this has the potential to be a 5 Ethereum NFT. And the reason I'm saying that is that the NFT space, in my opinion, works off hype. And there are very few projects that have the amount of relationships with other notable companies as Data Cells, right? They've been doing collabs in the physical world in real life for so long. And we saw it recently, and I'll show you. So just to refresh your memory, this is what they look like. They all this like eye character, and then they've got different glasses, different hairstyles. I really like the art. Just make one big for you, just a random one. I really like the art, and I mean, obviously, very recognizable as a brand. So recently, they actually announced a collab with Colette. Now, Colette's an old French company that actually isn't in existence. Collab is that out of the 10,000 holders, only 25 are going to get something. So your odds are tiny. You got higher odds of being, I don't know, winning. I don't
Lottery.
know. You got 25 out of 10,000. It's a 0.0025. I would it's tiny, but it still caused the floor when they announced it to go all the way to 1.3 Ethereum. And now it's coming off that again. So that's just with one very small collab, right? But then if you jump onto their website and you just have a look at their history in real life, they've done stuff with Adidas before, Louis Vuitton, Hype Beast, lots of exhibitions, Milan Design Week, Fashion Week. Sorry, let me just get where I can scroll sideways. New York Times, Vogue, Interview Magazine, Warby Parker, right? So this is what they've been doing since 2008. And if you've done collabs, you've got relationships, right? So I can just imagine this one, coming out almost every month with collabs with these brands. If I've got a relationship with Louis Vuitton and Louis Vuitton's got no idea of the NFT space, and I phone up Louis Vuitton and I say, look, this is what we're doing. Have a look at this, and they'll want to come with me. So I'm really bullish on this. I mean, it could go higher long term. Every time they do this, if they can knock out one amazing collab a month, Louis Vuitton next, this one next, that one, IKEA they did a huge thing with. If they could do that, this will just keep pumping because you can see it's just incredible. Even in this market that we've been in the last few days, it's had this incredible pump. So yeah, I love this project. I'm very bullish. I have bought in and sold and done quite nicely, and then I've bought in again. It reminds me more a bit of Wolfgang Farmer. I do imagine that if you watch this and monitor it, you'll have your buy-in point that and you'll start to feel when it's going down, and then you'll have your sell point when pumps are happening.
Close to
when they
those
announce
collabs,
yeah. But I've got a really cool one. You want to see mine?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
I've got a really cool one.
I'm kicking myself because I thought about grabbing one after the mint before, like it was the day before the reveal. And I said, no, I'll just wait till reveal. They might dip a little after reveal. They didn't dip. And then I just missed my opportunity to grab one. And I don't know if I'm going to grab, I would grab well, I can't. I don't have the ETH to grab one at this price. But like, what would you think? Grab one now and
No,
hold?
I don't think
Yeah.
no. I think it really depends on the market, and it's very possible that we're coming out of this bear market because of the ape token launch today. There's
Mm,
10,000 holders that now have at least 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 ETH,
yeah.
right, that they didn't have before, and most of those people, I would imagine, will keep some in the coin, but also bring some out in ETH and spend it. So we've seen an incredible day today. We've seen, I think 110 million when I checked, which is double what it was yesterday. How long that carries through, is that enough with the macroeconomic stuff that's going on with the world and Russia and everything that's going on? Is that enough to take us out of this? I don't know. So I don't think so. I think this might be a nice reprieve for a few days and then back to reality. And something that I've noticed, and it doesn't always happen. Sometimes, like my doodles, you just lose it. That's it. You sell out at what you think is the going to go down afterwards, and it ends up flying, and you never get back in. But I do imagine that other collections that I've always thought, I'd love to get in, but it's too high, and then I get in at a price that I think is good, and then a month later they're sitting at half that price. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't get in now, Morland. I
Yeah.
wouldn't. And it's, I think maybe half an ETH becomes incredibly
It's
attractive.
more attractive. Yeah.
And if it doesn't get there, my bro, there are, as you know,
Oh yeah.
hundreds of
There's.
projects.
Oh
There
yeah.
really are exciting
Uh,
ones.
that's why I didn't get
So
too hung up over it. Like I knew there'd be more, and it is what it is. But it's the one
yeah,
that got away for sure. Like I do like the art. It lends itself really well to like physical sculptures or figurines, and like you said, the collaboration potential with the big brands that they've done. You could have do what Gucci's doing now with the whole you can change the clothes on your mutant and then resell that mutant. You could do that with Louis Vuitton with Dower Darcels. You could change the wrap or what it's wearing to Louis Vuitton. And there's a lot that they can do because of those
yeah.
relationships. And
For sure, and as you're saying, because of the design, lends itself so well
mm,
to co-branding or being rebranded, like we saw with the Colette. So yeah, very very bullish long term. There, like any project, there are going to be dips and troughs, but
oh yeah,
long term, I do think this is a great one, and yeah, I really like it.
awesome. So another one we brought you guys a while ago, actually. This one, when did we bring this to you guys? Mid February or end of February, and it minted on February 26th. Wonder Pals. So Wonder Pals, if you guys remember, is that cute, thick art style. Uh, 10,000 collection, and they minted at 0.08. So if you got in at mint, you're doing quite well. The floor is above half an ETH, um, yeah, like which is very good. um, Better than we've seen with other projects currently. It did have its dip, right? Everything has dipped, but it's kept a decent floor, right? A point five floor at a 0.08 mint. I take that any day, all day long. So definitely holding strength and finding its place in the NFT ecosystem, the current meta, the current trends. Um, and like I said, it's been since the end of February, so it's not quite a full month, but they're still lots of sales happening at decent prices. Look at this one, a 1 ETH sale. So a rare was purchased just recently. So that's all good signs that people are wanting to get into this project still. They didn't just blow off the hype and then die out. There's something here. They're still building as a team. There's great artwork. Um, I think this one for sure has some long-term potential in the space. It definitely at launch had that meta trend that it was trying to pick up on, but now seeing the way that the NFT community has reacted to it, I feel like this is one that's going to be around for a while, building in the space, right? Especially when you go back, if you guys remember, to the team, they were just passionate about building a space for everyone within the digital world. They didn't have a huge roadmap, right? They called it their wonder map, and it was basic, right? It's nothing groundbreaking, ground shattering, but you know that they're here for the long term and that they want to build and expand the project, right? Fully docs team. So those are all really great signs to see with a project. You guys all know this, but just to see that it's still kind of keeping that strength it had off after mint. Like I
Look at
said,
that
if you
owner.
were,
Look at
yeah,
that
the
owner
owner,
percentage is incredible.
exactly. And so like I said, if you were able to mint one, you're sitting pretty right now. Like, I would be very happy with this currently. Even if I was if I'm a long-term holder, or if I was planning to flip this NFT, you've had your opportunity to make quite a decent bit of cash off this thing. But
Let's have a look at the activity thing. I
yeah,
just want to see something.
but judging by the owner count, right, people aren't flipping. People are trying to hold.
Yeah.
It's not a ton of activity on the daily, right? You're not even getting over 100 sales. Well, here we go, 185 March 12th. But the last few days it's been under 100 sales. But
But the
that's
market's
still
also been down.
exactly, market's been down. So it's
Yeah, this reminds me. This reminds me a lot of Doodles. So Doodles was at that half ETH floor for months and months and months. It's also the same sort of cute, clean line art, thick line art. Also a good team, and also a lot of notable people thinking about it, talking about it, following it, and you've got the same thing here. So I agree with you. I do
yeah.
think, like, long term, being in the NFT space, maybe 3 to 6 months,
Yeah.
these I think could do very, very well.
And you don't normally see projects maintaining a half ETH floor, right? Like, if they're tanking, they're tanking. They'll hit that half ETH, and then they'll hit the 0.4, they'll hit the 0.3. Like, they've maintained a half ETH floor in a rough NFT market right now. So just let them continue to build on what they want to build. And like you said, there's other projects in the past that have done exactly this, right? They've kept that steady, respectable floor price for a while, and then they hit that spark that just boomed. So, I mean, I don't know what that spark necessarily will be for Wonder Pals. I'm not like in their ecosystem fully. So I don't know exactly what they've got going on for holders right now. If anyone does know, let us know down in the comments. But just all the signs that I'm seeing is pointing to the fact that it's a strong, solid project and has potential.
Yeah, for sure. Next one I want to bring you is a very recent one, Murray by House. It only launched on the 13th of March. Mint price was 0.15. Hasn't revealed yet. So, again, this is never financial advice. I'm not saying buy any of these projects. I'm not saying don't. But generally speaking, when something is pre-revealed, is not the best time to buy. So, after we discuss this project, if it is something that's on your radar and you like it, I wouldn't buy in right now. I would wait for reveal. You can have a look here. They were all the way at about 0.7. They've had a dip, but again, it's so difficult because the market was down yesterday. Will be interesting today because there's been a bit of a pickup today. But this project is by a house, and they've got house phases here, which minted in Jan. And you can see as it has held up pretty well considering the market conditions. A lot of Ethereum traded as well. So you've got the project's by a notable team, an experienced team in the space. They've got a 7,800 collection NFT project that's hit 1.5 Ethereum, and has held its floor price during this market. Yes, it is down, right? But everything has gone this sort of way. So yeah, I do think that it's going to be very interesting to keep this one on your radar. They had a public sale first and then only whitelist, and it was a bit strange. But they also announced a collab with Carrefour, which was quite bullish for them. And it's your typical. I just want to show you what the art is going to look like. I think the best would be probably on the Twitter side. Yeah, that's probably where we'll see. So it's an anime Japanese style art. Okay, they're not going to be moving, just to make that very clear. Philip said they were moving NFTs. No, that was a video. There are some really nice previews here. I just want to find it for you. And then I'll take you through their roadmap because we actually haven't covered this one before. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite bullish on it. There you can see there's a equal gents and ladies in it. I mean, that's really, really cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't know this meta, whether we're still in this anime Japanese style meta or not. But I do know that a team that's been able to have a previously successful project, and also, I mean, this is holding nicely. I mean, that's what, a 4x, a 3.5x from Mint. So this is their roadmap. They've got a token coming out. And they want to integrate it in many ways, use it as a currency within the ecosystem to purchase different things, in-game currency. Then they've got the anime side. So they're saying, as they teased, we're going to release a whole anime around the story of Muri and the future of her. This includes the whole roadmap. When changes in the anime will happen, it will update every character included in the change. So your NFTs are going to change with the story. Look, I think it's really interesting. What happens if you absolutely love the way yours looks now, and then you come tomorrow and there's a change? I don't know exactly, but I do like any project that's doing something different, and that is really cool. They're going to take your NFT through the story, and it's going to change with the story. Then they're saying they're going to release an animated version and a printed version coming in Q1 and Q2. Physical toys coming, which a lot of us in the space were collectors of physical stuff before this. So physical toys is always quite nice. Obviously very important that the quality is good. That you could really make or break any brand. It could make or break, so they really should make sure that it's perfect. And then they're also talking about a fashion line coming as well. So look, I mean, nothing groundbreaking here except for the anime, which I think is groundbreaking. And the team is sort of doxed because of the house side of things. So there are the previous house phases. There are, people who know the founders as a result of this project, and it's the same team. But just looking on their website, you click here, it takes you nowhere. But it's a detailed team. They've recently brought in another illustrator, and they really are in this for the long run. And I think it's one that you should continue watching. Again, like Morland said with the previous one, to maintain this floor price in these conditions on a mint of 0.15 is quite incredible. So definitely keep it on your radar. Keep an eye on it. If you like what I've said, maybe a day or two after reveal, see what you can do as far as picking one up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens from that. My last anime manga play didn't work out quite so well for me. So
what was that one again?
That was Kami Tribe, yeah. And
it didn't work out for me either. You and I are in these things together,
They screwed up their contract and did a whole, I got out of that one when I could. So it would be nice to see one of these anime ones actually pull it off and start delivering on that. I do think though that Azuki's has plans for that in the future, some kind of anime. So I mean, they're well on their way. But yeah, it'll be good to see if they can keep where they're at with their their current floor price, and if they can keep that anime trend going, for sure. So another kind of interesting project. Personally, it's not my favorite art style, but hey, art is in the eye of the beholder, right? So we're talking about drug receipts. So these were originally done as like little doodles or sketches by the artist on like receipts in coffee shops and stuff, right? So I appreciate the talent, like it's well done. For me, I don't necessarily connect with it. Also, there's 4 different types. There's the pill bottles, the caps, the syringe, and then
Capsule.
whatever they are. So like I don't know. I just feel like there could be a little more to it for me, but again, that's just my opinion. If you
I love
like,
them. I
yeah,
love the look
I
of them.
knew
I
you
really love the
would.
look of them.
I knew you would like them, yeah. But I don't want to take away from the project by any means. In terms of like their roadmap, they want to deliver like a merch store and the opportunity for you to purchase collectibles and pieces of art done by the original artist and other NFTs. So they're creating a marketplace for their holders where they can buy different collectibles and pieces of art and NFTs, that sort of thing. So if that is something that would appeal to you, this might be the project to get into. That's as much as I can tell you as far as their roadmap goes. The artist is fully doxed. They minted on the 8th, March 8th, and they minted at 0.09. So this 0.1 floor price isn't so strong when their mint was at 0.09, but they have been able to hold above mint price, which is good to see as well. Especially, we've talked about it already. Current market is rough, so the fact that they've been able to hold above mint price is definitely a good sign. When you jump into the activity, you can see that they've had their peak at 0.25, and then they've dipped off a little bit. But again, there are sales happening, right? We've got a few
Well, it's
sales in
probably
the last hour.
pre-reveal that
Yeah,
dip, yeah?
yeah. I think that, well, they minted on the 8th, so
Yeah,
a couple
so
days
probably that was
later,
just before
just
reveal, the
before
height, and
reveal,
then
and then
after, which you often see.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, even though I was I was kind of shitting on the art a little bit, people like it and it speaks to them, and that's the whole idea behind art, right? So people are buying at the 0.1, even a
what
little
is the
bit higher.
total
This one
volume
must have been
traded?
a rare. Total volume 1.1 thousand ETH.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, in a
That's
few days. That's
yeah,
incredible.
that's really good. So there's definitely a reason people are getting involved with this. They like it. They like the art. I think it's probably more of an art centric
Mhm.
reason people are buying it. They're not buying into it because of a crazy roadmap or utility. Um, I could be proven wrong later on, but as from what I understand right now, it's just providing a marketplace for holders. But this one must have been a bit rare. It went double floor price.
Mm.
Yeah. So I mean, if this is something that you like the art, you do your own research, guys. Look a little bit more into the community and what's going on there. But it was a recent mint that we wanted to bring to you. That's
I think when there's a relatable story to an NFT project, a legitimate relatable story, like here's an
yeah,
artist that became famous by just doodling on the back of receipts at restaurants, and has actually turned that people ended up loving, and finding, and has
yeah,
turned that into an NFT collection. I think it's great. I think it's also nice to see projects that aren't at the half ETH range. It's a nice
Mm-hmm.
entry level project. As you said, the founder's completely doxed, so it's not one where any of the views are going to be rugged. And yeah, I think it's quite different to what else is out there. And yeah, I mean, sometimes these art projects end up delivering. Sometimes they don't. So yeah, going to be an interesting one to watch. But this one is very interesting. So I want to start off just talking about the statistics here. You've got a tiny collection size, 2,200, with 3,500 owners. Now, the reason for that is because these are seeds and they're busy being revealed. So very much like Clone X, where you have two separate collections, your Clone X Mint Vial, and then you can turn that vial into the NFT. So that's actually happening at the moment. Um, so you've got your seeds over here. These are just the seeds, and then as you change them into an NFT, they go to the NFT collection. Now, the interesting thing about this, I just wish that the images on this OpenSea would load. The interesting thing about this is that when you go to reveal it, you go onto their website, and then you have up to 9 or 10 chances to choose traits that you want. But if you select something and click next, you can't go back, but you can keep going next and you can accept it at any time. So after one change or attribute, you can accept, or you can keep changing it up to 9 times until you're happy. And it's not a completely different change. It's like adding things onto your base character.
Wow.
So that allows you up to a month from today, to do that. And that's why you're seeing that there's some people that are in the middle of that process. That's why you're seeing there's only 2,500 seeds, but 3,400 owners, because it's people are in the process of doing that. Something that you do have to be very, very aware of if generating your own NFT is why you want to buy into this, is that some of these seeds could be in varying stages of the morphing process, in which case you have to look at properties of each one that you're thinking of buying. About or details, maybe this one hasn't even started. So they have said that it will be on the properties, what stage they're in. So just check that out before you buy a seed, because you might buy a seed expecting to have 9 changes, and someone might have changed it up to the end time, but not actually click the mint button, right? So just be aware of that dynamic within this. But I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, a week old. You've got 6,300 ETH traded, which is really incredible in any market, let alone in a bear market like we've been in. The mint price was 0.33. So you 2x at the moment. So it's not the same as a 0.1 in a mint being at 0.6, but it's still incredible. Almost a 2x has kept it. But remember, this has been pre-reveal up until now. So there's a couple of things about this. First of all, the founders of this project are members of the official artifact team, the Clone X team.
Okay.
So that's a very interesting thing, because these founders of GNSS have got a very strong relationship with the founders of Clone X and work with them on Clone X. So there is a chance. I mean, there's always a chance, but there is a chance of a collab down the line here between Clone X and them. And I do think that that's in everyone's mind, because you do find that projects tend to stick together. It's obviously easier to approach someone that knows you and you've got a relationship with and knows how good you are than it is someone that you don't know. And we saw that with Dada Souls. They're doing their first collab was with Colette. They did something 10 years ago with Colette. So the same logic could apply here. It could not. Clone X could be very, very set, saying we're not doing outside collabs, and nothing could come of it. We don't know that. But if there is a collab, then it's going to be interesting. I don't think RTFKT wrote their contract. The members are the founder of this project is a member of the Artifact team. I don't know that he's the developer or not. If he's the developer, then it's very possible. If he's not, then probably not. So I don't know that they wrote the contract. It does have a high level. It does have a high level developer, because I don't own one, so I can't show you exactly what the process is. But I saw screenshots of it, and I'll take you to their Twitter.
The fact that you can be selecting traits and stuff, and that
Is
is
incredible.
all within the metadata, and you're customizing, that's really high level. Like that's next level NFT stuff. I don't think there's been one that does that.
I don't think to this degree.
No.
But yeah, very much based on color. To me, reminds me almost of cut glass. Glass blowers with different vases and things like that. The colors that you get in some of them. But yeah, I mean, it's quite impressive in general. Just everything you're looking at is done really high level, in my opinion. And then if you have a look at their Twitter over here, I think there's a video here that I can show you. No, that's just that. I did see a video that's showing you the idea. Yeah, here's the stages. It's just a GIF. So this would be all the choices you have from that one particular NFT. So as you go along, but the thing is that let's say I really like that guy. If you click next, you can't go back, right? So you might not get. So there's a bit of game theory going on, a little bit. So I really like him, but then I don't know what's coming next. I don't like him. I like him. I really like him. So listen, very, very interesting project. I think if you look, just forget the relationship. If you look just at the stats, 2,200 collection size is tiny for the space. 6,300 ETH traded is incredible. And yeah, I do think it's one worth watching. I wonder if I can find you any that have been revealed just on OpenSea quickly, because I do know they started that. Yeah. Okay, so I have to just point out the collection size in total is 5,000, because you've got 2,100 seeds and 2,800 that have been revealed. So the play here is maybe even not to reveal yours. I mean, it's still holding up incredibly. This is post reveal, 0.5, 50% owner distribution, just over. Still holding up pretty well so far, but this is literally happening as it stands now. So the entire collection is 5,000. I think another play here is maybe to keep it as a seed without touching it. Don't take it to any level, because you saw, and you do still see with Clone X, the vials are 35 Ethereum and the Clone X's are 12 or 13, because the vial might be a really rare one, might not. So yeah, I mean, very, very interesting.
To that point too, there's also people still holding on to their mutant serums from Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? And like the M3 serums that were going for millions of dollars, people held on to those. So yeah, I think you're onto something there with this holding the seed potentially, and because that gives you, or the new buyer, it gives the new buyer, new holder, the option to choose what they get.
That will be the most valuable, would be to have an untouched seed, hasn't gone through any of the stages. Very interesting project. Definitely nice, regardless of what happens on Collab's price. Very nice to have something new, something completely different. Very, very interesting. And this one also being followed by a lot of notable people, and being talked about a hang of a lot. So definitely I'm interested to see what happens with this one. And
really cool.
Watch the space.
I like it. All right, another one that minted early March 9th, actually. So not about a week ago, was Super Ordinary Villains. So they launched at a 0.12 price. So they haven't really maintained that mint price in terms of their floor, but they do have a fairly decent owner distribution. It's over 5,000 owners.
It's
There's
60%.
there's 8,888 of these, and 1.8 thousand ETH traded. So people are buying them. They do want them, right? Activity. It's slowed down a little bit, but we're still getting a handful, decent amount of sales every hour at that 0.1 or even higher. A couple rares being bought. So again, all good signs that people are actively buying and trading this, but the fact that it hasn't really been able to maintain that mint price isn't really a good sign. I don't know what happened there. It could just be
Let's check
market
the
conditions,
activity,
right?
because it was about 0.2 yesterday. So
The
something.
average sales were 0.15, 0.16,
Yeah.
and we're
So
dipping
there's been a
down
bit of a
again.
dip
So
today.
I couldn't tell you what the reason for that is. In terms of just a project that's gotten a lot of hype and eyes on it, you definitely had it had its moment, right? It's got 1.8k volume traded already in just what,
A
8
week.
days, a week, 5,000 holders. So their roadmap, it's fairly basic for NFTs. Like they provide holders in real life events, merch, that kind of thing, airdrops. They're planning on a metaverse, so it's nothing really groundbreaking. But I don't know. That's all I got to say. Really, it's an interesting art style. Um, it could be just like in just like here in the comments, it could definitely be pumpers just pumping the project, moving on to the next new thing. They got in, got out, and we're just going to slowly see that the floor lower. But I hope not, for the project's sake, and I don't want to spread any FUD or anything. Like
I
I
think
want to
it could
see
go.
them
I think it
succeed.
could go
And
absolutely anywhere.
yeah, it's
From
sort of
here,
in
it
this
could. Yeah,
it's
it's
in
at that
this weird
stage where it's
spot.
hard to tell where it's
Yeah.
going to go.
Yeah.
But 1,800 Ethereum traded in a week for a project with a floor price of 0.1 is
Hmm.
very impressive.
Yeah, that's a
That's the
lot of
same as
sales.
it's the same as the one I just looked at now, with a floor price of 3 times that, doing 6,000, 3 times the amount of what you're seeing there. So there's definitely a lot of interest here, and I do think we've got to take into account a lot of market conditions at the moment.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a bad day. The last few days have been bad. Going to be interesting. It's at that exact point where it's, so if you're thinking of getting in, you've got to know that it's a risk. It
Hmm.
could carry on going down slowly. The team could come out with an announcement tomorrow saying, "Oh, we've collabed with this one, or
And
we've hired this one," and it could
and
moon.
and
So
because they sort of left their roadmap kind of open-ended that way, they can drop bombs like that, right?
yeah,
They can just do the Bored Ape thing and just say screw it, mutants tomorrow, and then they give, or with these guys, who knows, they're villains, let's give you the heroes, right? Like there's going to be something that hopefully something that is a catalyst for them to continue to grow. But like you said, they're in this sort of weird gray area right now. Post mint, they haven't held the floor, or they haven't held mint price, but they have a good owner count. There's a lot of volume traded. So yeah, it's like, what's
full
happening
disclosure,
here? What's
I
happening?
bought one at this price,
Okay,
and I think it's a good gamble. There's a lot of eyes on the project. I'm a bit of a gambler, a little bit.
a little bit.
So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. We are seeing at the moment that guys are getting impatient. So generally, they buy into a project. If it doesn't 2x within a week, they sell it, right? And
Yeah,
that's not really the way to do it. We always say give it a couple of months. But yeah, going to be interesting. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I wouldn't write them off just because they like 10%
yeah,
under mid price.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but I'm not like jumping from the rooftops and buying 100. So let's see. It's going to be interesting. The next one, which I really like, it's weird, is called I Like You, You're Weird.
I like
See what
this
I
one
did there?
too. I really like this one too.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at the stats before anything. We got 10,000 items, a big collection size, guys. And the fact that a week ago, well, actually 9 days ago, they were able to mint out 10,000 speaks volumes. 5.2, so 52% owner account, which is healthy. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. We always say anything over 45% is good, anything over 55% is great, and anything over 65% is almost unheard of. So they're on good. A good amount of ETH traded. These guys minted at 0.09. So they're currently sitting at 2.5, just under 2.5 return. And then I hate OpenSea because I want to show you the art. Once we're waiting for that to reload, you can have a look here. So you've got your reveal, I'm assuming, was here or maybe there because of the volume there, maybe there, and it's bounced back really, really quickly. So you're always going to see your dip after reveal. 95% of the time, 98% of the time, you're going to see a dip. Even if the artwork is incredible, which I really do think this is, there's going to be people that just don't resonate with their NFT and sell it and end up buying another one in the same collection. But to see it jump straight after is always bullish. As we've been saying, everything seems to be a bit down today. Also, remember, today's not finished, but everything seems to be a bit down today. And a lot of people were wanting liquidity today, and there was a lot of weird stuff happening. There were a lot of good deals. I do think that with this ape token drop or launch today, that you're going to see a pump tomorrow because people do have this ETH, and I do think this weekend is going to be decent. So I do think if you've been waiting to get into anything, this might be a good chance. What happens the week after that? I don't know. It might go straight back down to where it was a few days ago, and maybe even though this is a good time to buy from the next week perspective, is this a good time to buy from the next month perspective? No one really knows for sure. But yeah, definitely very interesting. So I just want to tell you a bit more about this project. So first of all, we have a lot of very notable people. So I've got a little hack here. Whenever I see more than 150 people that I'm following a project, then it really piques my interest. Like really, anything under 50 and there's very little interest. Anything over 150 and it's bullish. It's almost like a 70% own account, right? So that's just my own little that I've noticed looking at projects on Twitter. So that means to me that a lot of notable people are following this project and interested in this project. Now, again, with that said, even that hack for me, whatever that number is for you, it doesn't always work because certain projects will do a lot of Twitter whitelists, and they say in order to pre-mint and be on their whitelist, you have to be following their Twitter. So it could just be that there's a lot of whitelist hunters, and that's what they're looking for, right? But I do know after looking at this, I do see some names that only follow projects that are very, very bullish. Let's see if I can show you some art. Not yet. Let's see if I just want to show you because it's so much better to see it.
OpenSea is so broken.
Yeah, but as I always say, they're doing. There we go. They're doing a lot.
Is.
I mean, there's so much going on the site.
It
so
is
you've got
true.
this sort of character. I don't know the answer, but I would be very interested to know if there's any leaning right, because all of them are leaning left. And I'm sure if there is, then that one will be quite rare. But yeah, I mean, really cool art, vibrant colors. So this artist, Amber Parks, is very notable. She even did some work with Katy Perry and some big artists like that, music artists. But she's a very notable artist, and I'll show you her shortly. And then you've got Mason, who's the founder. So let's just jump into his Twitter. And the interesting thing about Mason is that he actually had another collection on OpenSea called Meter Birkins. And it was like a handbag. I'll show you a picture. It was like a handbag design in different colors. And a handbag company came after him. And he ended up, really fighting. And he was sort of the David Goliath story. And he got really well respected as a result of that whole saga that happened over there, because he wasn't blatantly copying anything, and it was almost like, a big brand really trying to bully him. You can see here, I mean, he's got 22,000 followers, been on Twitter since April 2009. So we know the founder, we know the artist, both of them notable in the space. And the interesting thing about Mason as well is that he's got currently he has a fashion boutique as well, an in real life fashion boutique. And if we jump onto their roadmap, which I'm going to have to go into their Discord to show you, they've got merch on their roadmap, and I'm imagining that it's not going to be typical merch. I really think that this could end up actually being a brand, a merch brand, because of his background in fashion, and his background in NFTs, and he's got this great artist, with him as a founder. I just think it makes perfect synergy and sense that this is going to end up, and everyone likes this art.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to end up potentially being, a brand, and that's going to deliver value to the holders. So yeah, I mean, they've got interesting stuff on. You can already see, the fashion side coming out in some of what they're talking about. They gave 100 of those chains away. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a decent assumption to make that this project is going to have some interesting curves. I think at a 0.22 buy-in after reveal is probably a good time to get in. And yeah, I don't think this is one that's going to become one Ethereum overnight. I don't. I think I can imagine it's sort of like pretend like market conditions were just normal. I can imagine it's sort of, slowly increasing. Slowly increasing. So if this is something that resonates with you, I would get into it. I did buy in pre-reveal, actually. I don't even know if I've seen what I got, because I just saw so many. Let's have a look. I just saw so many of my colleagues and whatever.
There it is.
There he is. And
That's
there's
pretty...
my pull. There's my drug receipt.
He looks
there's
rare.
my super ordinary villain. You see everything I told you.
That looks rare, Philip. Is it rare? I don't know. He's got a gold jacket. Fuzzy head is in the
okay. The gold bomber, you're right. The gold bomber is 0.75. Something I have noticed though, unless you've got more than one trait, like a few traits under 1%, the overall rarity is not huge. But let's just check the floor price for gold bombers. 0.3. Yeah, I mean, that's 50% above floor, right? So that's interesting. Yeah, and there's quite a big gap between this one and that one. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Very interested. I really like it. Let's make it a bit bigger. It's just so cool. Instead of just seeing, very trippy. That's exactly right. It reminds me of Peaceful Groupies, for all the OGs out there, that type of, acid trip vibe. But I just like that it's not a copy. I know, like, we've lowered the bar. If we know who the team is and it's not a copycat project derivative, then for me it's that's why
diving in head first.
That's why I got 300 NFTs, because I'm so excited. Right? But yeah, I mean, it's not pastel colors, so it's not a doodle knockoff. It's not a character that we've seen before. I mean, yeah, look, how many of these PFP art projects, are going to still be there in a year? No one knows. So that's why it's important to look at the team, which is what we've done. But there's definitely a lot going on here. 3,100 ETH traded on a 0.1 mint, which is very impressive in a very short amount of time, 9 days. Again, you are seeing above floor price trades, so 0.38, 0.35, 0.4 for the rares, 0.65, that's a top 2%, which is always a bullish sign. So yeah, I'm quite positive on this one. I haven't been tempted to sell. I didn't even know that he revealed, to be honest, until I looked into it today. But yeah, I do think that it's one to keep on your radar, and I think it's got potential, good potential.
I really like it, for sure.
Yeah, I like it. It's weird.
I like it. It's weird.
What's happening? Vinzo wants to know what's happening with Bored Ape Coin. So Bored Ape Yacht Club, we're going to talk about it so much tomorrow on Freestyle
Yeah.
Friday. I can't even wait.
Oh yeah.
More than tomorrow, we're not taking comments for the first 15 minutes. I just need
Just
to
all
tell you,
Bored Ape, just talking.
Bored Ape, bro. I mean,
Just
come
all
on.
Bored Ape.
Labs, bars, Meebits, bars, crypto punks. 2 days later, they say, come, the coin is here. It's coming out in a day. A week before that, they're sending you a link saying this has got nothing to do with the coin. Give us your know your customer, your KYC. Then they tell us they've got land coming. They are all guns blazing. Then we had that leaked roadmap showing that they're going to be
It's insane.
generating $500 million profit this year and showing the ideas. Then Bored Ape comes out and says that's nothing. That was last year's plan for this year. We've added a million things to it, and to quote him, "Fuck it, we're changing it." Right? That's what he said on his Twitter. So these guys are NFTs at the moment, and you know what? Not everyone can have a mutant. Not everyone can have a Bored Ape, and I do think you got to appreciate that today. The value in the NFTs was 100 and probably 20 million since I've been talking. It was 110 earlier as a result of Bored Apes, dropping this token, people having ETH, and that goes directly into the ecosystem. So I'm grateful for Bored Ape Yacht Club. I went in, I claimed my token. For my mutant, and I watched it for about 20 minutes in horror as it went up and down, and then I swapped it for ETH, and then I bought myself a doodle. So that's my story.
So no estimates on price, just get it and sell.
Bored Ape bought me a doodle. Thank you very much, Bored Ape. I have a mutant. The drop pretty much covered what I paid for my mutant, which was 6.6 Ethereum. I personally, and this is not financial advice, I don't believe that it can maintain the current floor price. Let's just jump in there quickly. $7.70. I don't think it can maintain that. They've only released a little bit of the token so far to holders, and in the next coming days and weeks, there's going to be more supply reached. But look, I mean,
I think it's gonna hold at. It might, obviously there's gonna be fluctuations, but
yeah,
I think there's big potential for this. I would have kept holding mine. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Move. No, listen, that's a smart move. I just saw 6.5 Ethereum.
Yeah, it's that. Well, that's what I mean. NFT. That would be hard. That would be so hard to turn down.
And I'm
just dropped you like that. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
But they have a lot coming, right? Like it's part of their it's part of the governance, it's part of land, it's part of everything of their
they
whole
listed on Coinbase already. Right? I've never seen a project listed so fast. The other bullish thing is that the Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem is diamond-handed, like no one else. So listen, I said 2 weeks ago that I was going to hold onto this token. And then I saw 6 Ethereum, and you know what? It was 4 and 4.5, and then it jumped to 8, and I quickly accepted, and then that failed, and then it went to 5, and then as soon as I don't know. You're watching these stupid 1-minute candles, and you see a price that's better than the other prices that you've been getting, and I just did it. I'm really 6 ETH is incredible. I'm very happy. If it goes to $20, I am a little bit depressed, but still have to look at it as half full. But yeah, they're doing incredible stuff, and I think it's really great.
We'll talk tomorrow about it some more for sure.
Yeah, let's leave some. The one thing about it that I do want to say, we did that show on NFT Worlds and all the land type projects and stuff like that. That 2 weeks ago I was so bullish on. I mean, I bought Skuxverse, I bought another Grey Boy, I went mad. Anything that's got anything to do with the metaverse. I am a bit concerned because we now have learned that Bored Ape Yacht Club, the biggest in the space, valued at billions of dollars, is going with Animoca Brands and making land play. Yeah. Now, I do think that this is a threat to Sandbox, Decentraland, NFT Worlds, World Wide Webland, all of them. Now with that said, I don't know what stage of development they are in that land. Sandbox has been developing for 5 years. It's not the sort of thing. It's not the sort of thing that that just you snap your
Yeah,
fingers.
it's not overnight.
But Animoca Brands is helping, and it's
Yeah.
bought an APR club with a huge
$1
budget.
billion evaluation, $5 billion
So yeah, I
evaluation.
mean, I just obviously 2 weeks ago when I covered all the metaverse plays, and I love NFT worlds with a lot. I mean, I just it's now a little bit of a concern in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Metaverse, all of them. So I just wanted to mention that. To anyone who was watching us with the worlds, is that there's now a slight risk. There is a slight risk, and you've got to be aware of it.
But there's always going to be competition, right? So yeah, I think
But not from the biggest
not from
boys. It's like
yeah,
it's
exactly.
like if you've got a lemonade stand and you have Coca-Cola is
Yeah.
opening a store in your backyard, right opposite you. Your lemonade stand's going to be in trouble,
True.
right?
That's
I'm
true.
not calling any of the projects I've mentioned lemonade stands, but
Yeah, no, I know
it
what you
is
mean.
interesting. But I will
Yeah.
say to anyone who's enjoyed the last 5-10 minutes of us just talking our mind, that is what tomorrow is. That's Freestyle Fridays. Every Friday, we just talk about what's going on. We're going to cover ApeCoin in a lot more detail. We're going to cover the ape ecosystem. We're going to cover anything. And then you can comment, ask questions, and we ask. So please tune in tomorrow, same time, same place, 9:30 p.m. CEST, right?
Yeah, and that's 3:30 EST.
Awesome, which we now know, which we
Yeah,
didn't
we
know.
got it.
Looking
We got
forward.
it.
If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't joined our Discord, lots more alpha there. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in, and be kind.
See you tomorrow, guys. Peace.
Ciao.